What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back for another review of Basketball Wives Orlando. This is season 1, episode 4, and the episode is titled The Last Supper. So, we actually start this episode off with Mulan. She's having her Last Supper event. So, the first person to get there is Mackenzie. Now, she's supposed to be seated right across from Danielle, and then Morgan is supposed to be seated right next to that. To me, this is just my opinion. You already know that Danielle and Morgan can get real catty when they are together. I would have sat them separately, me personally. That's what I would have done. Nonetheless, Nikki gets there. And baby, one thing about Nikki Nicole, she's going to be tacky. Because what was that outfit, girl? Those leggings with that green top? Absolutely no. That was an absolute no, baby girl. I feel like, and I'm not trying to be mean at all, because it's clear that Nikki's weight, it has to be like fluctuating. She don't know how to dress for her body, like the current body that she has. It seems like she just throwing on whatever that can fit. I'm just gonna leave that there. So the next people that we see is Morgan and Danielle. We see them meet up so that way they can have a drink. I said, is that a good idea? They about to be drinking before they get to this event? Okay. And Morgan is basically telling Danielle everything that Nikki just told her on the last episode about being called a mean girl. Now, Danielle, she doesn't want to hash things out with Mackenzie in front of the group, and she would rather do it privately. And I can't knock her for that because this isn't exactly a situation that needs the group to chime in. I get all that. But my whole thing is, I wish that we could get a moment where these girls just pull each other to the side and be like, hey, let's go have lunch. Let's just chat about it and get over this. But no, we gotta do group activities. So now we see Megan and she's meeting up with Ashley. Now Megan is like, listen, it seems like you out here on an island by yourself, girl. And Ashley, she's so big in the chest, talking about some, yeah, I like being on the island by myself. I'm cool over here. I'm chilling, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, girl, you can be on that island by yourself, but you're on a show that's an ensemble cast, which means that it's a group of ladies that make the show. You can't be on an island by yourself on a show like this, girl. It just don't work that way. And here's my thing. I really don't like Ashley when it comes to the situation with Morgan because that's definitely messed up what she did. However, I do feel like she has brought some things to the show. Ashley, she does have her business. We don't know if it's selling or not, but the fact that she even brought in the storyline of like her kids being autistic and being tested for autism, learning that her husband is autistic, like she does bring some elements to the show. But girl, you cannot be on an island by yourself. You gotta have somebody in your corner. And honestly, Mackenzie ain't it. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Mackenzie is just not that girl. But nonetheless, Megan is basically telling her, like, listen, you need to go ahead and take accountability. And then she goes on to tell her, like, listen, Morgan thought that y'all were friends. Now, Ashley's like, oh, yeah, we were. Because last time we all checked, you said, oh, no, we were just basketball friends. Which insinuates we said hi and bye at basketball games, and that's as far as the relationship went. And it's clear that that's not true. So why are you sitting up here trying to downplay it? I would rather you just say, we fell out, just because we were growing apart. Therefore, we're not friends anymore. I would rather you say that. So basically, Megan, I'm about to call her Morgan. Megan is like, listen, you need to go ahead and set the tone, say how you feel, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, great. So Megan is playing producer, is trying to put the battery in the back of Ashley to, amp it up a little bit. So now we get to the dinner. And Morgan and Danielle show up. So they are not having it with these assigned seats. They decide that they're going to sit somewhere else. Mulan, she tells them that you might as well leave. Now here's the thing. If I was them, I would have left. Because we're both starting off on the wrong foot. Should they have moved the assigned seating? No. But you let me know what person actually wants to sit across from their enemy. I can't name a person that does. Like, be for real. So Mulan, she says that, they're being petty. And Danielle, she feels like, well, listen, Mulan, you're sitting with your friends. Why should we have to sit this close to our enemies? And I understand that. Me personally, I do kind of feel like if you were going to bring this group of ladies together, you should have mixed it up. You should have maybe had, if you're going to have yourself sit next to, what's her name? Mackenzie, and then maybe you could have had Nikki sit on the other side of you, and then across. You know what I'm saying? Maybe mix it up. Have Neek sit in between, what's her name? Morgan, and Danielle. I kind of think you should have mixed it up. That's just my own personal opinion, but you did it your way. So nonetheless, Mulan, she's like, well, we're not in the drama, so that's why we're sitting how we're sitting. So next thing you know, Megan and Ashley, they get there. And here's the thing. Ashley, she don't like her seat either. Like, she does not want to sit by these girls that she don't like. Now, Ashley, she's going to sit there on mute. She's not going to say anything. But, of course, Morgan and Danielle, they're going to be vocal about it. So, everybody's here, right? Let's put some things on the table. First of all, why is Nikki piping up first? I said, girl, you are the supporting cast. Why do you have so much to say? Sit down somewhere. So she brings up the fact that there was a comment about Ashley's hair. Megan, she's like, listen, I feel like Ashley was doing some cultural appropriation type stuff because that's a black hairstyle. Now, Ashley gonna look at her and say, you don't think I'm black? Girl, no, we do not. Like, I'm sorry, but there's no way that Ashley can tell me that she look in the mirror and she see a black woman. Girl, you're mixed. Cut it out. So Megan, she thought this girl was white. I personally thought she was maybe white or like Latina or something other than black. All right, fine. Now that nobody knew that this girl was black, that's moving off the table. Nikki decides to go further. I said, Nikki, why are you talking again? She goes further with this and talks about how Mulan and Neek were calling Morgan and Danielle mean girls. So now we have the back and forth happening between Neek saying to Morgan, like, why are you speaking while I'm speaking? I'm speaking. It just completely escalated. And here's my thing. What happened, Basketball Wives Orlando? Because usually y'all will run it back and show the clip of who said what. How come y'all didn't do that? Like, what's happening here? Are y'all gonna run it back at a reunion show? Because that'll make sense. Y'all know how usually whenever somebody like insinuates that somebody said something, as long as it's caught on film, they run that clip back. And they didn't do that. And I felt some type of way. But nonetheless, like I said, Neek is out here calling Morgan out her name. Morgan is saying, listen, you don't know me like that. Don't call me out my name. It just became a mess. Because Neek decided, oh, well, I'm going to say it to you again because my friend gave me the floor so I can speak. I can't lie, I probably would have popped Neek. I probably would have. I feel like this is a situation where everybody has played a wrong in some type of way, shape, or form. Like, all the way around, everybody has played a part where they have done something wrong. Like, in this moment, Neek, you were the one who were the aggressor, technically. Because I keep calling her Megan, Morgan, she was trying to get to the bottom of who said what and why would y'all say that. Because y'all are smiling in their faces and then behind their back, y'all are like, oh no, they're mean girls, we don't want to hang out with them. You know what I'm saying? Now, this thing has escalated all the way up to a fight, okay? Because what's her name? Meek, I think she threw like a napkin at Morgan. So these two are tussling. Unfortunately for Mulan, I think she was trying to break it up, but you decide to put your hand forward trying to break it up. Danielle think that you trying to come for her friend, thinking that y'all on some jumping type stuff. So she jumps in. I'm assuming Danielle popped, what's her name? Mulan. And did I feel bad for Mulan in that moment? Yes, because all she's trying to do is get these girls to get along. However, I need for people to stop with this. We gonna invite everybody so that way we can get all the stuff out on the table. We didn't even get to the root of the first issue because we had some secondary situation turn into this. Like a hot mess. So security has got involved. They done broke up the fight or whatever. And let me tell you what annoyed me, okay? Because Megan, I keep saying Megan, Morgan and Danielle, they're leaving, right? Why is Mackenzie telling Neek that, they aren't on her level and that she has too much money for this? Like, girl, you are really trying to be a sister wife to this girl. And I'm trying to figure out why. So, Neek, she ends up following them outside and she's yelling, "Where your man's at? Where your man's at?" Y'all, what that mean? Because I'm thinking, like, where your man's at? Like, where who man at? Is that like some slang that I don't know about? Is it an Orlando thing? Somebody drop down in the comments and let me know what she talking about. Because that question was not relevant to the situation. So now you have Nikki. She feels like she did not lie on Mulan and Neek. Here's the thing. This was not even your time to speak, sweetheart. Nikki, you could have waited to air your grievances later. Because to me, the first issue should have been Morgan talking to Ashley, Danielle hashing out her issues with Mackenzie, and then maybe you could have brought that up. But no, you wanted to make a scene, you stirred all this up, and I'm sorry, but you definitely got the mess going. So we actually see Neek. She did admit though that she called them bullies, but Mulan she ain't gonna admit it. So we are back at the table or whatever, and again I was annoyed with Mackenzie because she was like, "Yeah, they hate me and blah blah blah." First of all, girl, ain't nobody even talking about you right now. Ain't nobody thinking about you. Like, I'm sorry, Mackenzie is doing too much and she's a real try hard and I ain't here for it. Like, girl, Neek still ain't gonna really like you like that. She may play in your face, but I don't think y'all about to be besties. I don't see it. Nonetheless, we can clearly see that Nikki is now aligned with Morgan and Danielle. Now, according to Danielle, she felt like, she made a real friend with Mulan and, they were trying to play basketball together, all these things. But now things have went south. I don't think we can rekindle this friendship, and this sucks. So, next thing you know, after we saw, Nikki and Morgan and Danielle meet up, we see Megan, Mulan, and Ashley. They are meeting up, and Megan, she says that, Neek was the aggressor. Like, she shouldn't have threw anything. She shouldn't have kept yelling the B word. She was doing a lot. And I feel like the reason why Neek did that was because she was on some, y'all about to punk me like y'all do Mackenzie. So I gotta show y'all that I'm not that girl. And I get it, because you're not about to be played with, but it definitely escalated the situation once you threw something. Now, what's her name? Megan. She says that, if you should have checked anybody, Mulan, you should have checked the girl next to you and not the girl across from you. And I'm like, yep, I agree. Because if you see Neek about to throw something, you should have put your hand over her hand or tried to grab the napkin out of her hand, like, whoa, 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 we're not doing all that. But you decided, oh, I'm going to reach across the table. Yeah, that reach across, it could have been read every which way but the correct way. Like, and everything was happening so fast. Like, I really do feel bad for the situation that Danielle and Mulan now have because they were trying to build a friendship. And with all this happening, I don't see how they could come back, especially with the way Mulan is feeling. So, here's the thing. Like I said, Mulan says she can't come back to this friendship because Danielle punched her. And I get it. But also, I'm just kind of like, I feel like, yes, Danielle misread the situation, but could you really blame her? Because she thought that y'all was trying to jump her friend. Nonetheless, Mulan, she's feeling like, listen, Nikki started everything because she went back and told Morgan what was said. But I'm just like, listen, technically, and y'all may be mad at me for saying this, but technically, Nikki played by your rules. You said that this whole thing was for everybody to put everything on the table. She just played you. She put you on the table. You thought that you was going to have this little peace treaty and it was going to be about Mackenzie and her beef with Danielle and Morgan and her beef with Ashley. And no, Nikki said, okay, you said put it on the table, then let these girls know how you really feel. Like, this is all very messy if you ask me. So now we find out that Mulan actually told her makeup artist, who also does Nikki's makeup, to not work with her anymore. Now, I can't even lie, y'all. If I was that makeup artist, I would definitely have to tell Mulan, like, are you going to comp me for money that I'm missing? Because at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure Nikki is paying that makeup artist to do her makeup. So why are you trying to stop your makeup artist's bag? Like, be for real right now. So after she told Nikki this, Nikki put them in a group chat. And Mulan, she did tell the makeup artist that. So at this point, the girls are going back and forth. I can't even remember what was said, but I do know that Nikki called this girl a Oompa Loompa. Now, she's saying that it was not about her weight or anything. It was about the way she get her makeup done. So I feel like if that's the case, then you was dissing her and the makeup artist, because it sounds like the makeup artist must have chosen Mulan's side, because considering this was a three-way conversation. So Nikki, that was not right for you to diss this girl. But this is where things got interesting for me, because Mulan sent her a photo from behind. Okay, it's literally a picture of Mulan. I'm sorry, not Mulan. Nikki's back or whatever. Basically saying like, how you gonna call me a Oompa Loompa and look what you look like? Now here's my thing. I definitely understand why Nikki felt a little bit betrayed, because her calling you a Oompa Loompa, that is something that happened in a moment. You having this random photo of Nikki's back, that's crazy. Because when did you take this photo? That looks like you've been talking mess about her behind her back. Because that's not something you can just Google. No offense, but Nicki Nicole is not Beyonce. If I was to Google, Beyonce's back, I could probably find a video. You can't find no damn Nicki. Like, it definitely is giving that y'all have been talking mess about that girl behind her back. So Nicki, she is talking to Morgan and Danielle, and she's crying because she's self-conscious about her body right now. Now, did anybody catch when Nikki was like, she's acting like she wasn't a big girl just now? And I'm like, wait a second, are you saying that Mulan was big at one point? Y'all, was Mulan ever big? Anybody know? Drop that down in the comments. But nonetheless, Nikki feels like Mulan is the real bully. Now, I have no idea how we got to this point, but Danielle decides that she's going to bring up the fact that she showed up to that whole thing just so that way she could see what Mackenzie had to say. But Mackenzie sat there on mute the whole time and was probably texting her ex. I just want Danielle to not focus on Mackenzie anymore. I want her to find a life outside of that. Find a life outside of Rashad and what he got going on, please. Because we're tired. Nonetheless, we actually see Neek and Danielle. So, I'm sorry, not Neek and Danielle. Neek and Mackenzie. They are having a play date with the kids. Y'all, I don't know what that little built-in dip pool, kiddie pool, whatever that was, but it was extremely small, but it was the perfect size for the kids. Mackenzie, she's basically asking her, how she's doing after all of this. And Neek, she does realize that she took it too far. And that's one thing I can't respect about Neek. The time has passed where she can think over the situation and she realizes that she definitely pushed some buttons, pushed the limits. It really wasn't that deep. So, next thing you know, we have Danielle, Megan, Lindsay, Morgan, and Nikki. They go to a boxing class. It's clear that Danielle, she was definitely in her element. I think she said she learned how to box when she was a kid. And come to find out, when all the ladies are standing around talking, Danielle has deleted her social media because she got some info sent to her about Rashad and Mackenzie. I guess she went on like an Instagram rant. So she deactivated her social media and she just hopes that he does not bring her children around this woman, especially considering they don't get along. Do I feel like Rashad has brought them kids around her? I do. I absolutely do. Men do it all the time because that right there is called free babysitting. You can watch my kids while I go do whatever I'm supposed to be doing that don't include them kids. I can bet you Mackenzie be in the house watching your kids, girl. Nonetheless, we're going to move right along. So, Danielle says that she actually has texted Mulan. Mulan has not responded. However, Mulan had time to talk crap on social media. I said, ooh, okay, that's a little rough there. And then we actually see Mackenzie and Neek again. Y'all, they are becoming besties, okay? Besties overnight. They go to a Pilates class, and of course, you have Neek. She's vlogging all about it. And I will say, it is kind of cool that they are able to get along, even though I'm annoyed whenever they bring up the terms co parenting. Because it's like, no, y'all out here having play dates for y'all kids, y'all babysit each other's kids while that man ain't involved. The daddy is not involved. Be for real right now. Nonetheless, Mackenzie is talking about how she is planning to go see Rashad because she misses him. And Neek, she's all for it. Okay, girl, go see your man. Because we all know this will keep Mackenzie from backtracking to her man. I see what you're doing, Neek. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and move on to Danielle. We got to see a quick little clip of her FaceTiming her kids, and they are spending time with their dad while they're on his farm. I guess it's probably like summer break, so that's why the kids are with him. Now let's move on to Mackenzie. We see that she is planning on leaving her kids with her dad so she can go back home to be with Rashad. Now, I was thrown off by this. I said, why does she keep saying back home? Back home where? And her dad is like, listen, how you gonna leave me with the kids and you going back home? Because this man literally came from wherever your hometown probably was to come out here to watch your kids so that way you can go back to the same hometown. Girl, you couldn't just take the kids with you and then you could have just dropped them off at their grandparents' house. Like, Mackenzie, could you use your brain, please? Because it sounds like you ain't got one. What is going on, girl? So basically, she is telling her dad how, oh wait, before that, I feel like Mackenzie has been lying, y'all. Something about her story about her and Rashad seems off to me, especially once we realize that they were from the same hometown. He lives not too far from her cousin. They went to the same high school or whatever. She had a full story with Rashad now. I don't know, something in the milk ain't clean with that, but I'm gonna let her do her thing. Um, this is what else I was gonna add. She gonna tell her daddy how she always had some type of issues, when it comes to like women, and in this group, she has some issues because of her relationship. And her dad is like, between you and your sister, is always some drama with y'all and these other girls over a man. And I'm just like, that's real telling. Because why is it that every time y'all get with somebody, you and your sister, is somebody having an issue with y'all? Because it sounds like y'all may be homewreckers. I'm just saying, y'all might be side chicks. I don't know. But let's go ahead and move on. Now, we actually see a really cute scene of Morgan, meeting up with Lindsay. They go get an ultrasound for Lindsay. And honestly, I feel like this is the real Morgan. Or at least I would say the normal Morgan when she's just with her girls having a good time. You know what I'm saying? Because Morgan was being super supportive of Lindsay because she knows that Lindsay's man is still overseas playing ball. And I feel like this is a part of like her true personality. She does seem like she's a very loyal and supportive friend, and she will be there for you whenever you need her. So now we get to Danielle and Mulan. Finally, these two are meeting up. And Danielle, she first asks Mulan if, she's in a good space to even have this conversation. I actually respected Danielle for asking that question. So Danielle has not reached out for, I guess, a week. And I feel like she probably did not reach out because tension was probably still high and she probably did not know where y'all stand, Mulan. So Mulan, she feels like, they were disrespectful for moving the place cards. And Danielle, she apologizes for that. So Mulan, she keeps saying that, they came in on that energy and all of this stuff. But Danielle is like, okay, but Neek is the one who threw something. So even if we are yelling, doing all of this stuff, nobody threw anything and got physical until Neek did what she did. So Mulan, she's like, well, I've seen you and Morgan get aggressive. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry. Um, Mulan, you have not seen these girls get aggressive. That's not the word I would say. You've seen them be catty, but I would not say that you've seen them be aggressive. That's a heavy word to use. So even though Danielle is continuously apologizing, like I feel like Danielle really came in on some I'm gonna try to make this work. Um Mulan ain't feeling it. Mulan basically feel like she's full of it. And here's my thing. If you feel that way, why even come meet her? Because clearly you don't want there to be a resolve. This is making no sense to me. So Mulan, she says that, they can be cordial, but Danielle won't be treating her like she treats Mackenzie. And now she's like, because she's cool with Mackenzie, because she doesn't have to be in the middle anymore. And I'm just like, well, wait a second. So because you are not in the middle, now that you're so like besties with Mackenzie, it's not making sense. It's giving childish. Especially considering this whole time you were on Danielle's side of how Rashad is probably playing Mackenzie. But now you want to what, play in her face, act like you her friend? That's weird. Nonetheless, she even goes on to tell Danielle that once she heals, she should go talk to Mackenzie. I said, girl, shut up. Please shut up. Because at this point, I'm not really feeling you, Mulan. Because honestly, in that moment, I do feel like Danielle was being very apologetic. She didn't have a chip on her shoulder. She was really trying to make it work, and Mulan just was not here for it. So, y'all, it is very clear that these two, they are not friends. Okay? But we shall see what happens on the rest of this season of Basketball Wives Orlando. Go ahead and let me know what you thought about it. Who side are y'all on? Like I said, I feel like everybody played a part in this. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.